Florida is no longer just the Sunshine State or the retirement haven it was in the 20th century. As we enter January 2026, Florida has solidified its position as the 14th largest economy in the world, if measured as an independent nation. The fundamental misunderstanding for many international investors is believing that Florida's boom was a temporary byproduct of the pandemic. The reality is much deeper. We are witnessing an unprecedented migration of capital and talent in the modern history of the United States. The slogan, "Turn your dreams into reality," isn't just marketing, it's a description of the economic infrastructure the state has built. While other states face population exoduses and fiscal crises, Florida has maintained a policy of low corporate taxes and zero state income tax. This has created an ecosystem where capital can grow and, most importantly, be preserved. But it's not just about taxes, it's about infrastructure. In 2026, the Brightline train has transformed connectivity between Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Orlando. This has created an economic corridor that functions as a single megalopolis. This connectivity has eliminated geographic barriers to employment and housing, allowing an investor in Broward County to benefit from the tech growth in downtown Orlando. Educationally, we must understand the Florida multiplier effect. Every day, approximately 800 to 1,000 people move to the state. These aren't just numbers. They are consumers, tenants, and entrepreneurs injecting billions of dollars into the local economy. In this section, we will analyze how industrial diversification, from the fintech boom in Brickell to the aerospace and defense epicenter on the Space Coast, has created a safety net for the real estate investor. We are no longer solely dependent on tourism. Florida is now an international trade hub serving as a bridge between the Americas and Europe. For the investor looking to turn dreams into reality, the first step is understanding that Florida offers a value shield. In a context of global inflation and stock market volatility, Florida real estate has become the preferred safe haven asset. But not just any property. Success in 2026 requires understanding microgeography. We will analyze why the Sunshine State offers a legal certainty that few places in the world can match. Protecting property rights and encouraging development, investing here today is buying a share in the state leading the American growth narrative for the next decade. Investing in Florida requires a shift in mindset. The most common mistake for novice investors is chasing glamour instead of numbers. In 2026, the winning strategy is divided into two pillars: immediate cash flow and strategic appreciation. To turn financial dreams into reality, you must decide what type of investor you are. Let's talk about the short-term rental revolution. With platforms like Airbnb and VRBO integrated into the legal fabric of many Florida cities, vacation rentals remain a cash flow machine. In 2026, the market has become more sophisticated. It's no longer enough to have a clean property. It's now about the guest experience. Properties generating a 10% to 12% annual return are those offering resort-style amenities. We will analyze how the vacation rentals sector has professionalized, demanding top-tier administrative management. On the other hand, we have the equity strategy in satellite markets. Due to high prices in the urban cores of Miami and Fort Lauderdale, we've seen a value explosion in the peripheries. Cities like Homestead, Lehigh Acres, and Northport are today's equity battlegrounds. Investing in these areas in 2026 is similar to having invested in Miami Beach 30 years ago. Here, the goal isn't necessarily daily rent, but capital growth, equity. The demand for workforce housing is insatiable. With the boom of hybrid work, families are looking for larger spaces and quality of life. This has spiked the value of single-family homes in these areas. It is vital to understand the concept of build-to-rent. In 2026, large investment funds are building entire communities of single-family homes designed exclusively for rent. For the individual investor, this means competition is high, but also that the market is validated. We will explain how to use financial leverage. In the U.S., and specifically in Florida, foreign national loans remain accessible. This allows an investor with a 30% or 35% down payment to control a $500,000 asset. This is the true magic of investing in Florida. the ability to use the bank's money to build your own wealth. We cannot talk about investing in Florida without candidly addressing the elephant in the room: climate and insurance. In January 2026, the educated investor knows that not all land is equal. For your dream not to become a nightmare, you must understand the geography of resilience. One of the greatest misunderstandings is that all of Florida is going to flood. This is a gross error. The state has high elevation zones, such as the Miami Ridge or the center of the peninsula, which are geologically safe for decades. Success in 2026 depends on due diligence. We will analyze why homes built after the 2023 and 2024 building code reforms are the most valuable. These properties are not only safer during hurricanes, but their insurance premiums are significantly lower. Educationally, we will explore Florida's insurance market in 2026. After years of turbulence, the market has stabilized thanks to new laws limiting frivolous litigation and the entry of new reinsurers. However, the cost of insurance is now a determining factor in cash flow. We will explain how to calculate the total cost of ownership, including insurance, property taxes, and homeowners association fees. A smart investor in 2026 looks for properties with wind impact certifications and flood mitigation because they know that environmental sustainability translates directly into financial sustainability. Investing in Florida is, in essence, investing in adaptation. We will see how cities like Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale are investing billions of dollars in raising streets and improving pumping systems. This public investment is a buy signal for the investor. Where the government puts money for infrastructure, property value tends to rise. Turning your dreams into reality means buying with a cool head, looking at FEMA flood maps, and understanding that resilience is the new luxury. The peace of mind of knowing your asset is protected is what allows you to scale your investment portfolio. Turning a dream into reality requires more than vision. It requires a solid legal and financial structure. One of the most common misunderstandings is that you need to be a U.S. citizen or resident to invest in Florida. In January 2026, this couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, Florida remains the #1 state in the U.S. for foreign investment, thanks to a system designed to facilitate the entry of global capital. We never, under any circumstances, recommend buying an investment property in your personal name. In 2026, the gold standard is using an LLC, limited liability company. It is vital to understand why. An LLC doesn't just protect your personal assets against legal claims related to the property. It also offers significant tax advantages and facilitates the transfer of assets to your heirs. Creating an LLC, even for a foreigner, is a fast process that can be completed in days. This allows your investment to operate as an independent business. Following the volatility of previous years, interest rates have stabilized. This allows leverage to once again be a powerful tool. For the foreign investor, there are foreign national loans. Investors are often surprised to learn they can qualify for a U.S. loan with requirements much simpler than in their home countries. No U.S. credit score is required. The bank primarily relies on the asset's value and your demonstrated ability to pay in your home country. Giving a 30% to 35% down payment is the master move. It allows you to keep liquidity for a second property, while the first one's rent covers the mortgage and expenses. We must also mention FIRPTA, Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act. It's a term that scares many, but simply requires planning. FIRPTA is a tax withholding that occurs at the time of sale, not purchase. With proper accounting and the use of structures like the 1031 exchange, an investor can grow their portfolio exponentially without tax impact stopping their momentum. In 2026, investing in Florida must be passive for the owner. You don't want to be the one taking a 2 a.m. call because a pipe burst. A good manager isn't an expense. They are insurance for your investment. Technology in 2026 allows you to monitor your property, view your income, and pay your expenses from your phone anywhere in the world. Investing in Florida is, ultimately, buying freedom, and that freedom is built with a professional team by your side. If you are going to turn your dreams into reality, you need to know exactly where to put your money. In January 2026, The map of Florida has changed. It's no longer just about Miami or Disney. Growth has shifted towards strategic corridors driven by technology, logistics, and internal migration. First, let's analyze the I-4 corridor, Tampa, Orlando. This area is today the economic heart of the state. Orlando has stopped being just a theme park city to become a center for simulation, medical technology, and aerospace logistics. Satellite cities like Davenport, Kissimmee, and Winter Garden offer a unique combination of demand for vacation and residential rentals. On the other hand, Tampa has solidified itself as the new financial hub of the South. It is attracting thousands of young professionals looking for an urban but more affordable lifestyle than Miami's. In South Florida, eyes have moved north and south of traditional cores. Port St. Lucie and the Treasure Coast area are the big winners of 2026. With the Brightline train connecting these areas to employment centers, what was once too far is now the ideal home for families looking for new single-family homes. Here, equity is outpacing the state average because there is still land to build on, and the entry value is much lower than in Miami-Dade. We cannot forget the West Coast, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples. Following the total reconstruction after previous years' climate challenges, this area has re-emerged with the most modern and resilient building codes in the world. Cape Coral, with its hundreds of miles of canals, remains a paradise for investors seeking waterfront properties at a fraction of Fort Lauderdale's cost. In 2026, this area is a magnet for luxury rentals and baby boomers seeking solidity and modernity. Finally, we will mention niche markets like Ocala, the horse capital of the world. It has seen a massive boom due to the expansion of logistics centers from giants like FedEx and Amazon. These markets offer much higher cap rates than coastal cities. Educationally, we will teach the viewer not to follow the crowd. Real money in 2026 is made by identifying the flow of jobs before home prices rise. Florida is a mosaic of opportunities, and the ideal hotspot depends on whether you seek family legacy, monthly income, or a quick fix-and-flip play. Your legacy begins today. We have traveled through the economy, strategies, geography, and legality of investing in the most dynamic state in the Union. Florida in 2026 is not just a destination. It is a statement of financial principles. It is where economic freedom meets an unmatched quality of life. Turning your dreams into reality doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. It requires the courage to take action and the wisdom to do so with the right information. Throughout these 45 minutes, we have given you the tools to stop being a spectator of others' wealth and become the architect of your own. The window of opportunity in Florida remains open, but the market waits for no one. The legacy you build today will be your family's security tomorrow. Whether it's your first investment property or the expansion of a global portfolio, Florida soil is fertile ground for those who sow with vision. Thank you for joining us on this educational journey. The future belongs to you, and that future is bright, solid, and above all, possible right here in Florida. The Florida dream is real, and it's accessible. Your journey to financial freedom starts with a single, informed decision. See you in the next chapter of your success story.